Kim McBriar. I am the assistant principal here at the high school that I work. The high school is called Monitot Junior Senior High School. Our students are in grades 7 through 12, so about 12 years old to 18 years old. We have about 500 students in our building. They're actually just arriving right now because this is the beginning of our school day.
Ma'am,
Good morning.
my name is Akbar. I'm a ninth grader from U.S.A Penwaka. With your permission, may I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
How do you adjust your teaching for students from kindergarten to high school?
One of the things that we have to do whenever we're adjusting our teaching from the younger students to the older students is taking into consideration things that they've learned over the years. All the older students prefer to be talked to like adults. Our younger students, a lot of the time we talk to them like a mom would talk to their children. And we just take into consideration what they know and build from there to add to their learning.
How do you connect subjects like science, history, agriculture, and reading in your teaching?
Again, we have to consider what kids know. Not every student is going to have the same literacy skills. So we look at each student individually. And if a student is at a lower reading level, we adjust any independent reading to their level so that they have understanding and so that they can read independently. With STEM, the nice thing is it's a lot of hands-on. So sometimes reading is not as important, where students who prefer to learn by doing rather than learn by reading. So you're able to do more with those students because their strength could be in the learning by doing.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, I have
Thank
one more
you.
question.
Yes.
How do you help students become good readers and prepare for future careers?
With our younger students, we do a lot of assessments to find out where they have weakness or they have challenges, and we concentrate on those areas. I'm not sure how you all learned how to read or learned English, but we have some different levels here where it starts off with you learn language by hearing it, and then you learn language by reading it. So we look at what the students already have in place, especially our kindergarteners. And sometimes we need to work on what's called phonemic awareness, which is that listening and speaking, and then transitioning to what would be called phonics, where it is the reading of the text.
Ma'am,
Good morning.
my name
Your
is
fish
Maheshwar.
behind
I
you
am
is beautiful.
yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. My name is Maheshwar. I am an eighth grader from GPHS Penmaka High School. I would like to ask one question. My question is, how has your experience as a literacy specialist helped you improve students' reading skills across different grades?
Again, we look at every student individually and try to work from the level that they are to build those skills. So if a student is struggling in a certain area, we practice those skills to build those skills to make them better readers. I love your smile.
Mahesh sir, ask another question.
I have another question, ma'am. My question is, as a science and primary grade teacher, how do you make learning easy and enjoyable for young students?
I like to make learning hands-on, experience-based, where you're doing experiments. A lot of times it's in storytelling. Sometimes I'll connect songs to things. Whenever I was a fifth grade teacher, I taught about the visual spectrum of light. And we had a song that went with it so that students would better understand each of the wavelengths of light. We did a lot of experiments where we would use prisms to refract white light into the visible spectrum. So a lot of hands-on experiments and just different ways to make learning fun for students. Okay.
As an administrator, you have been doing your job successfully. So ever since you came into this position, are there any issues that you have been confronting, especially from the student side? Because as an administrator, we have to experience different things, especially from the teacher side, student side, and even from the family, I mean, parent side. So, what kind of issues that you often confront at school?
A lot of issues that we confront here at school actually have to do with money and being able to purchase what students need as far as resources. Another issue that we have is here parenting is very different, and different homes have different expectations for their children. Where here at school we have very defined rules, and families don't often, well, I shouldn't say often, families often don't agree with those rules, and that so because they don't agree with them, their students don't agree with them, and they don't feel that they apply to them. So there are just a couple of little things.
Yes, I do understand because in my school we have an administrator and we have almost 600 students in our school. So I personally has been observing him closely that how tense he is feeling once he enters into the school, and especially from the higher authorities. Higher authorities, they demand some reports should be sent immediately and in connection with the students' progress and the progress that students are making, especially in the 10th grade. So because of these reasons, head teachers, especially in my region, are reeling under extreme pressure, and most of them are diagnosed. I mean, having some other health-related, heart-related problems because of too much of pressure that is coming from the higher authorities. And do you have such a pressure from the authorities that to give the reports connecting with the students? If the students are not doing well, what sort of, I mean, questioning that the higher authorities going to ask, and how you are going to be accountable for such things?
I am part of an administrative team. So I have another gentleman that works with me. He's our principal. He and I work together to try to problem solve. Yes, we do have times where things are very pressured, but because we have support, not just with each other, but we have a superintendent, and her job is to oversee all of the school business. She is very supportive. She helps us as much as she can. Is I don't physically feel pressure. I don't have any health problems because of it. So I'm very grateful for that. We work with our teachers very closely to monitor student progress. We put measures in place so that students can succeed. Last year, whenever I started, we noticed that our students' math scores were not at the expectation, and we made a change to the daily schedule for our 7th and 8th graders. So instead of having one period of math, now they have 2 periods of math. So they have twice as much math instruction, and we're noticing improvements in their math scores. So we try to put some measures in place so that no one feels that pressure that you're talking about, because we know what the expectations are, and how can we move our students forward to reaching those expectations.
Okay. Another question is the training sessions. How do the teachers in public sector in your region, in your country, they attend the training sessions? I mean, just to upgrade their professional knowledge. And how often do they need to attend the professional enrichment programs?
We have days during my principal just came in. We have days during the school year. You can come over and say hello if you want to. He's coming.
Hello.
This is
Good
my
morning, sir.
principal. His name is
Morning.
Lance Fox. He and I work together, and we were just talking about pressures of being an administrator.
Oh, there are many, yes.
So,
But she is wonderful. She is amazing to work with. I've been
I know
working
that.
with her for a long time, and
Yes,
you have a good, yeah. You have a great person to talk to and talk to your kids.
absolutely.
She's amazing.
Nice to see you, sir. Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to say hi.
Yeah, no problem.
so we have days where students do not attend school, but our teachers and staff do come to the building. On Monday, our students don't have school. Some of our staff is going to be participating in a certification class for first aid, CPR, and AED so that they can be certified so that if there is a medical emergency and that they can attend to the student immediately in case the nurse can't get there fast enough. We have other days set aside for professional development. A lot of what we'll do is we will look at what teachers teach. So if it's a literacy teacher, the literacy teachers have a literacy professional development. Our math teachers have a math professional development. Oftentimes our teachers can go outside of the school to different places to receive professional development. Next week, I have a professional development about school safety. So we have a lot of opportunities. Our teachers have opportunities. And in Pennsylvania, our teachers have requirements where they have to receive a certain number of professional development hours in order to continue teaching.
Another question that I would like to ask, what is the age of retirement for the teachers in your region? Yeah, how is the pensionary benefits once the teacher steps out of the service?
It depends on what state the teacher is teaching. Different states have different requirements. In Pennsylvania, we have teachers' unions. When teachers are part of that union, they usually teach for 30 years. And money is deducted from their pay, each pay during their career, and it's put into a savings so that they have a retirement fund. So they're able to still receive an income after that they've left teaching.
And another thing is misbehaviorism. I mean, behaviorism is one of the issues that the teachers in your country are facing and experiencing. So corporal punishment is strictly prohibited, even in India also. But how do you deal with the students whose behavior is not appropriate? Do you engage the counselors to counsel them? Or what sort of strategies you would like to apply as an administrator?
It depends on what the infraction is. What I like to do is if it is the first time the student is being referred to me, we will conference, try to find out what the source of the problem is. And if they do need time with the school counselor, we'll make appointments for that. We have mental health therapy available in our school. So if students need mental health support, we can arrange that for them. If it's something that has a different type of a consequence, we have time about 2 hours after the school day ends where students have to attend and they need to work on anything that's incomplete for schoolwork. We also will suspend students, which means they are not permitted to come to school for a certain number of days. And then the most extreme is an expulsion, where the student is no longer allowed to attend the school but has to go to a placement school.
Another thing is how are the students tested in different subjects? Do you have any specific examination system, and how often the students are tested? And another thing is how often do you change the curriculum? I mean, especially the subjects that the students learn. Do you change the textbooks or do you change the curriculum?
As far as the assessments in Pennsylvania, each state has their own jurisdiction on how they assess students. In Pennsylvania, students in grades 3 through 8 take tests called PSSAs, which is the Pennsylvania State System of Assessment. They are tested in literacy, they are tested in math, and then in grades 4 and 8, they are tested in science as well. We also, in our high school level, when students complete their biology course, they take what is called a keystone exam. When they finish their 10th grade literacy class, they take a literacy. And then there is also an algebra test that students complete. If students do not pass their keystone exams, they retake them. We also offer intervention classes for those students to help to improve their skills, to help prepare them for that second or third testing. As far as the curriculum goes, our teachers are always monitoring the curriculum. They're always looking for new resources that will help to improve their teaching and help to improve their students' skills. We have what's called curriculum cycles in our school. So there's official reviews, and any changes that need to be made can be made at that time.
Okay, thank you so much, Kim, for your time. So if you let me one more question I would like to ask,
Yes.
because your time is so precious. How is a promotion system in your country? For instance, if you take my system in my country, if I enter into the profession, I mean public sector, as a primary school teacher, if I have enough qualification, I can be upgraded from primary school teacher to the secondary school teacher. So you after that, there is one more position that I can reach if I have a service, that is head teacher. That means from primary to secondary, secondary to head teacher. These are the only three positions one can reach within the stipulated time of 30 years experience. I mean, the span of his experience or maybe his service. How is the promotion system in place in your country? Do you have that sort of flexibility that if we have the qualification, can we enter into the from primary to secondary or from secondary to the head teacher? Is there any criteria?
There is. In Pennsylvania, to become a teacher, you have to obtain an education degree from a four-year college. You have to pass a teacher certification test. In that first 4 years of school, of the college, you have a choice of where you want to focus. Do you want to be a primary teacher? Do you want to be a middle teacher? Do you want to be a high school teacher? Once you've reached those, we also have special education teachers, and they have their own certification. Whenever I was going to school, I majored in elementary education. So my certification is kindergarten through 6th grade. I had the ability to take exams to add to that certification, which is why I can teach middle school science, middle school math, agriculture, kindergarten through 12th grade, reading, pre-K through 12th grade. So we have what are called add-on certifications. If I would want to be a special education teacher, I would have to go back to college and receive that special education degree. I can't take an exam to become a special education teacher. To become a principal, I had to go back to college. I had to receive the college credits. I had to pass another exam. So our different levels, you need additional college education and you need to pass an exam. So the next step for me would be I would have to go back to college to receive what's called it's basically a letter that states that I could be a superintendent or I could be the director of special education. And again, there's another exam that you have to pass in order to hold those positions.
Okay, thank you so much, Kim, for your time. And we literally enjoyed your session as usual. So before we wind up this session, may I request you to give a message to my students and my teaching community in India?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. I know you all are working very hard to help your students, and I know the students are working very hard to make their achievements. So keep working hard. I know that there are days that are difficult and there are students who are challenging, but what you are doing makes a difference every day. And you can see that by the big smile on your students' faces and their enthusiasm. So you are making a difference, and please keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much, Kim, for your appreciation and see you soon. Bye for now. Have a great day.